Om Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tama Gocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyam. We have been studying Viveka Chudamani and we have seen Adhikar. What are the factors which make us fit to receive Vedanta? We have seen their interrelation. We have seen the very special position of Bhakti in the whole scheme. We have seen two approaches to Bhakti, the Jnani's transcendental approach and the Bhakta's immanental approach. Then we have seen that such a person with Adhikar and Bhakti comes to Guru. So here we find in the next sloka which we are going to read that Vedanta is not a philosophy. Vedanta is a way of life. Vedanta is the method of realizing God. Vedanta is not just philosophy, not an intellectual assertion of what God's nature is. So, going to a guru, everywhere Shankar has pointed out in all his commentaries that going to a guru is absolutely an essential step in Vedanta. So, we have seen in the Shloka 32 that he goes to a guru, and the Shloka 33 we have seen the characteristics of the guru. Now we see 34. Tamaradya gurum bhaktya prauva prashraya sevanai prasannam tamanu prapya pruched gyatavyam atmana. This one shlok seems to be so important. Every shlok in Vivek Chudamani appears to be very important. So, as I said, Vedanta is a process and going to a guru. And going is not sufficient. That is what this shloka is telling us. Tam aradya guru. One has to worship that guru. Bhaktya. You see the word bhakti has come here again. Can this bhakti be Swasrupanusandhanam? Please tell me now. Can this bhakti be Atmatattvanusandhanam? He is worshipping the guru with bhakti. So bhakti means love and respect. Bhakti means a pull towards that person. That is the meaning of bhakti. Bhakti means love and highest respect and full love. Bhakti means a pull towards that person. When the pull is towards our own reality, we call it bhakti. When the pull is towards a transcendental reality, that is also bhakti. So here again the word bhakti has come and he worships Guru. Worship and bhakti, what is the difference? Worship is the action. Bhakti is the inner thought or inner idea or inner feeling. Bhakti is the inside, outside it expresses as worship. Now modern people say that we have respect. Why to show it? Now, show word comes only when there is no respect inside. If there is respect or bhakti inside, we do not call it show. We call it expression. And expression is very important. Expression gives rise to that bhakti. If you do not express, then that bhakti dries up. So, this bhakti is there and it is expressed. That is called worship. And how to worship, that also Shankar is telling us. But we need not worship Guru with flowers and all that. Prabhuva prashraya sevanaihi bhaktya. Prabhuva means prostration. Unless this I is put down, unless there is a going to the Guru's personality, there is no knowledge will not flow. The knowledge flows from Guru to Shishya only when the Shishya opens up his heart. Only when the Shishya is fully ready to receive it. And this ready to receive is shown by Prabhupada, prostration, prashraya, and we are taking resort to him. We are accepting him as the whole source of getting Vedanta insight. That is the prashraya. Sevane. And again, in action it should be shown by serving him, fulfilling his needs, serving him. Whatever he wants, without his telling or with his telling, we should do that. And so these three show our attitude, and these three show the process of Vedanta. All this is Vedanta process, mind you. No theoretical discussion here. Tam aradya gurum bhaktya prava prashraya sevane, and then seeing that he is happy, Guru is happy inside always. But we see the happiness again comes on his face. He smiles, and we know that he is happy. So, though he may be happy always inside, but when that happiness comes out, expresses itself, then we should ask him. So, again, here important thing, not only serving him and saluting him and worshipping him, that is a part of the process, but we must ask. And this we have found in all scriptures that the whole assimilation is put on the Shishya. In Taittiriya Upanishad, the Vidya is described as Bhargavi Varuni Vidya, Vidya which Bhrigu received from his father Varuna. In the Chandogya, we see that Aruni's son Shetaketu, when he came back from his education, Aruni found that he is haughty and thinks too much of himself. Aruni compared that when I finished my education, I was not like that. He says, Shetaketu, how you have become like that? You must not have asked the gurus that knowing what unknown things also become known. So here the responsibility is again put on the disciple. And Narada goes to Sant Kumar, asks him, everywhere we find this. So there are many shrotas amongst us. They say, what can we ask? You please tell what you want. What the Guru will want? Nothing. Guru is giving knowledge to a receiver. And unless the receiver, what does question do? You open your heart. What does question do? The Guru knows where you stand. Every question is half knowledge and half ignorance. Some higher thought enters, but it does not find an anomaly with our other thoughts. This is the rise of a question. Question is not from a blank state. Question is not, please tell me what is Brahman, sir. That is not question. Question means some higher thoughts, ideas, or glimpses of higher consciousness enter our mind. And our mind has a level, it has a setup. Every person has a philosophy, please. There is no choice between philosophy and no philosophy. Those who say we don't want philosophy, that is their philosophy. Man in the street has his own philosophy. So the choice, Bertrand Russell says, the choice is between good philosophy and bad philosophy, not between philosophy and no philosophy. Now this philosophy comes from the level of our mind. Whatever be the level of our consciousness in our mind, that from that rises our philosophy. We try to rationalize our thoughts. And if we are not able to rationalize, two ways are left open to us. Blindly believe or ask a question. So, no level of mind will give us satisfactory answers. Only when we have full knowledge, when we realize the reality, then only questions will not arise. Till then, on a certain level, the mind has gone. And mind, some higher level thought has come into it. And then it cannot fit in with the thoughts there. This is the source of every spiritual question. And what to do with that question? We have to ask the Guru. Guru at that point immediately comes to know the nature of our mind. the level of our mind, what higher thought has come into him, and then he explains things to us. That is the process of Vedanta. So, Pruchet Gyatavyam Atmana. Atmana means your own, Gyatavyam, that you wish to know, which you wish to know, unless you wish to know what is there. So, what you wish to know, you should ask. That is the method. Now, he has put in front of us now a Guru Shishya relation. And the Shishya is now asking. It's a dramatic appearance. Unless this question and answer are there, the friction between two personalities, the knowledge does not come. So the lower wood and the higher wood, when the friction is there, fire comes out. So now the expression of the Shishya, Swamin Namaste Nataloka Bandho Karunya Sindho Patitam Bhavabdau मामुद्धरात्मीय कटाक्ष दृष्टया रुज्व्याति कारुण्य सुधाभिवृष्ट्या. His feelings toward the Guru are very nicely expressed in this shloka, telling us that this should be our personality. In front of the Guru, it is not only a question we are asking, but this is the attitude of us towards the Guru. He says, Swamin, O Master, O Great Master, Namaste. Salutation to thee. Now, this is a very funny thing. Huh? In Sanskrit, the word for addressing somebody has three forms, like thou, you, and your honor. And because mentally we have come so close to the Guru, we are uttering the first word, thou. So, highest respect, but the closeness is shown, by the love is shown, by the word thou, namaste, salutation to thou, not even to you. So full of respect. So how this full of respect, instead of that we are using the word singular? Because of the love. Nata loka bandho. You are a friend of the people who bow down to you. If they do not bow down to Guru, well, Guru has nothing to do with them. Though he may have universal love in him, but he will become friend to a person who is going down. So Guru knows that he wants knowledge from me. Karunya Sindhu, in your own nature, you are an ocean of mercy. Otherwise, what is the need of doing anything to that Shishya? He is not expecting a high payment. It is not a rich man has come to him. The Shishya has come to him. And so, he is ocean of mercy. Patitam bhavabdav. I have fallen into the ocean of this transmigratory world. Transmigratory world is so huge. It has so many ramifications, infinite ramifications. So it is like an ocean. I've fallen in this huge ocean-like transmigratory existence. Mam Uddhara, please take me out of this Atmiya Kataksha Drishtya. A benign glance from you is necessary. So, the Karunya or the love or the identity with the Shishya in Guru will be expressed if he glances at me, if he lovingly looks at me, Rujva. Now, all this is the qualification of Drishti. Rujva, straight. Ati karunya sudha vivrushya. Ati karunya. You require tremendous compassion for me. And it is like a nectar. It is like a shower of nectar. Your compassion towards me, expressed in your drishti towards me, is like shower of nectar. Durvara sansara davagni taptam dodhuyamanam duradrishtavatai Vitam prapannam paripahi mrutyo sharanyamanyad yadaham na jane. Now sansar was compared to ocean. In this, sansar is compared to a forest fire, Davagni. Davagni is a forest fire. And I am in that. I am in that transmigratory world, which is like a forest fire. And I am getting burnt. And I find no way to come out. Bypass this. Durvara means bypass. It's difficult to bypass this, the fire of the transmigratory existence. Todhu yamanam. That means, under simile, to express, I am moved, I am thrown away here and there. That is Dodhu yamanam. Duradrishta vatai. Duradrishta, ill luck, vatai wind. So winds of ill luck, being in transmigratory existence is itself ill luck. So that is compared now like wind, which is shaking me, which is throwing me here and there like this storm. Vitam, I have become afraid. Prapannam, I found a way out of that. I have surrendered to you. We have thought of this surrender many times, like the ornaments feeling that they are only gold. So Prapannam means I take resort to you. Mrityoho paripai. This death is chasing me. Death after death is chasing me. From that, please save me. Because yet aham anya sharanam na jane. I do not know anything else which I can take resort to, where I can surrender and be saved from this ocean or this forest fire or this storm. Only I know that you, a man of knowledge and a man of compassion, can take me out of this. So, Anya Sharanam Yad Am Na Jane. So, I have come to surrender to you, and you have to take me out of this. This is the entire attitude. Shankar has put it extremely, not poetically only, but beautiful expression of the Shishya's mind. Shanta Mahanto Nivasanti Santo Vasantavad Lokahitam Charantaha Tirna Swayam Bhima Bhavarnavam Janan Ahetu Nanyana Pitarayanta. About the Guru, he is expressing, I know that Shanta. Shanta means he has become free from effort. That is the meaning of Shanta here. Neither is disturbed by the word, nor he is to do anything. He has attained his goal, so he is peaceful. Mahanta. But you have a great heart. Anta means Antakaran, Maha means Mahan. Mahan Antakaran means you have a great heart. Nivasanti Santo. Santa, translated as saints, derived from the word Sat. Nivasanti means they are present. The gurus are present who are Shanta and Mahanta, Vasantavat Lokahitam Charanta. The example is given of the spring tide. What happens in spring? We plant a garden, but the flowers and the fruits will come only in spring. So the spring season personified is always Lokahitam Charanta, benefit, bringing benefits to people, bringing the flowers and fruits to their attempts of sadhana. So that is the nature of these gurus. Vasantavat Lokahitam Charanta. They move about bringing benefit to people like the spring season, Tirna Swayam. They have themselves crossed over the ocean. Bhima Bhavarnavam is terrible ocean of world. Bhava, world, Arnavam, ocean, Bhima, terrible. They have already come out of this terrible ocean of world. Janan, Anyan, Api, to other people also. Ahetu, Tarayanta. They want to redeem or they want to make other people also swim across this ocean. Ahetu. What is their purpose? They are not expecting money from you, and what are they to do with that money? They are not expecting high honor from you. They are not, what will you do with high honor? So what is the reason of their transmitting knowledge to the other guru? From their point of view, if we say, we will not find any reason, ulterior motive. So that is the feeling of the Shishya, that the gurus are such that, like spring season, they go on giving benefits to people and they help other people to cross the ocean because there is no other motive in them. Only motive is love and kindness. Ayam Savava Swata Eva Yatpara Sharmapaniya no Sharmapanoda Pravanam Mahatmanam Sudhanshurev Swayamakar Swayamarka Karkasha Prabhavitaptam Avatikshitim Kilo. This is the nature of the great people, that the labor of the other people to remove the fatigue of the other people. That is the nature of the great people, to remove the fatigue of the other people by themselves, Satayeva, by themselves. Mahatmanam, of those who have a great heart, this is the nature. Example, the moon, Arka Karkasha, Prabhavitaptam, Sudhanshuresha Swayam Avati. Kshiti. Kshiti means earth. Earth is scorched by the hot sun throughout the day. Mind you, India is there. Huh? Hot sun is scorching the earth throughout the day. And when the moon rises, it gives comfort or cools it down. Light with no heat, light with soothing coolness. So after the earth is being scorched by the hot sun, the moon comes, Sudhanshu is moon. Sudha means nectar, Anshu means rays. Sudhanshu means moon has rays of nectar. Esha, this moon, Swayam, himself, Arka Karkasha, Arka, sun, Karkasha, terrible, Prabha, the shine, Avitaptam, those who are burned by the terrible shine of the sun, Avati, the Sudhanshu moon protects them, protects Kshiti, the earth, killer really. So, simile is there that the sun scorches the earth and this moon cools it down, gives it comfort, really. ब्रह्मानंद रसानुभूति कलितै पूतै सुशीतैर्युतैर् युष्मद्वाक् कलशोज्जितै श्रुति सुखै वाक्यामृतै सेचय संतप्तं भवतापदावदहन ज्वालाभिरेनं प्रभो धन्यास्ते भवदीक्षण क्षणगते पात्रीकृता स्वीकृता. No, he was talking with the glance. Now he's talking with the words. What are their words? Words are like nectar, Vakyamruti. Shruti Sukhay. They will be giving pleasure even to hear because they're so beneficial that even to hear that will be pleasure and they will be like nectar. Yushmad Vak Kalasho Jitai. Your speech is like the jar in which these your words are there. And from that, as if you are pouring from the jar some nectar, like that they are coming out through your mouth. And they shine with the experience of bliss of Brahman. Brahmananda Rasa, bliss, Rasa, bliss, which is joy of Brahman. Rasa also means one who gives joy. Anubhuti, experience, Kalitai, shining with the experience of the bliss derived from the Brahmananda, joy which is Brahman, Utai, and they are holy. They purify others. Sushitai Ritai, and they have the property of cooling down the other scorch. And Enam, this, myself he shows Enam, this. Bhavatapa dava dahana jwalavi santaptam. Bhava is sansar, there is heat in this sansar. It is like the forest fire, and that flames are burning me. Hey Prabhu, oh revered sir, oh Lord, people are really blessed. Dhanyaste. Bhavad ikshana kshanagati. Who come under your gaze. That moment they are happy, they are blessed. Patri kruta swikruta. Not that everybody is fit, but you make us fit and you accept us. The Guru makes the disciple fit and accepts him. That is how he is praising the Guru. Now he asks the question, Katham tareyam bhava sindhu metam kava gatirme katamosti upayaha jane na kinchit krupaya vama prabho sansara dukkha kshatimatanushva. This sansar is like an ocean. How shall I cross it? That is the main question. Kava gati, what is my fate? Actually, gati is used for swarupa also. What is my real nature? What is my upaya? What is my method of coming out of this scorching heat? Hey Lord, I do not know anything. Please protect me, save me. Now, this is another important thing. This is not mock modesty. If I know something already, that will clash with what you teach. So I should start as if from zero. Though he knows, as we have found, the question comes from a mind which is already developed. But his attitude is that I have nothing, zero. And you can tell me what I have to do. If I have some preconceived notions, then I cannot understand you. So free from preconceived notions, that is called Janena Kinchit. Sansara dukkha kshati, the misery. Kshati is misery of the pain of this transmigratory world. Atanushva. How it can be removed? That you please tell me. So the whole shloka is only how shall I cross this ocean? What is my real nature? And what is the method of crossing this ocean? So the Shishya's questioning or expression is over here. तथा वदन्तं शरणागतं स्वं संसारधावा नलतापतप्तं निरीक्ष्य कारुण्यरसार्धदृष्ट्या दद्यात् अभीतिं सहसा महात्मा. What should the Guru do? What did the Guru do? So the description is of this type. The Guru does such and such things spontaneously. Tatha vadantam, speaking like that. The Shishya is speaking like that. Sharanagatam swam, and he has surrendered himself to the Guru. Sansara davanala. He is feeling. Everybody is sansara davanala, but we do not feel it. But the Shishya is feeling, being scorched by the forest fire of this transmigratory world. And the Guru looks at him with so much compassion. The drishti filled with compassion, drishti which has become wet by the juice of compassion. That is how it is described. Compassion rasa, they have made their eyes wet, and that is looking at him. Mahatma, the man with the great heart, sahasa abhitim daddat. He gives him immediately. Sahasa means immediately, spontaneously, abhiti. First thing he should do is remove his fear. He said, I am afraid. First thing is to assure him, remove his fear that he is afraid. He will not cross, he will be burned. That should be removed first. That is what the gurus do. First is their response. विद्वांस तस्मा उपसत्ति मीयुषे मुमुक्षवे साधु यथोक्त कारिणे प्रशांत चित्ताय क्षमाद्विताय तत्वोपदेशम कृपयैव कुर्यात्. That Vidwan, the Guru, who is full of knowledge, and to him who has surrendered to him, who has approached him, and he immediately has judged some qualities of him. Huh? Not anybody who says, Lord, Lord. Mukshave, that he is keenly desirous of liberation. Sadhu, and is good as against bad. Yatokta karine, and he shall do whatever I tell him. Yatokta karine can have two meanings, that he has done or he is doing what should be done. As told by scriptures, he has performed his own kartavyas, own duties as prescribed by scriptures is one meaning. The second is a futuristic meaning, that he is able to do what I am telling him. Otherwise, you please save me. And what you tell, I say, I can do that. He is not of that type. He will put into action what I tell him, and he, he has done what he learned from the scriptures, and then only he has got this keen desire. Prashanta Chittaya, that means the one side we are seeing the restlessness, but in connection with the world, is absolutely peaceful. We should understand, he does not appear to be peaceful. But Guru says that he is fully peaceful. He is not disturbed by the world. He is not tempted from the world. And so is Prashanta Chitta, Shamanvitaya. One word tells that he is Adhikari. Kiya Shamadama Uparati Titiksha Samadhana Shraddha. So is an Adhikari. Then Tattvopadesham Kuryat. He should talk about the fundamental nature of things, not beating about the bush. Fundamental nature of things, that Upadesha he should do. Krupaya eva, out of his compassion, because he has compassion. So the compassion functions in this way. Let the Shishya also come out of Sansar. And so he tells him the essential thing. Tattva Padesham, essential things he should be taught to him. Ma bhaishta vidvan tava nasti apayah संसार सिंधोस्तरणेस्य उपायः येनैव याता यतयोस्य पारं तमेव मार्गं तव निर्दिशामि. What do we know about this shloka? Sharat Chandra Chakravarti approached Swami Vivekananda and immediately Swami Vivekananda uttered this shloka. So we have been told that he assures him first of all. That assurance is in this shloka. And Swamiji uttered this shloka immediately when Sharat Chandra Chakravarti approached him. That is this shloka. Ma Vaishta Vidvat. Guru is telling the Shishya that you are Vidvat. That means you are known that you should approach the Guru. You are known, so you have become Adhikari. You are known, so you have keen desire to come out of the world. So you are Vidvat. He is expressing like this because you are not a Tom, Dick and Harry. First of all, understand, you also know something. Ma Bhaishta, don't have any fear. Tava nasti apaya, no harm will come to you. Sansara Sindhu Sarane, to cross over this Sansara ocean, asti upaya, means are there. Now, important thing is that the Guru does not tell him, I'll give you something original. No, no Guru worth his name does that. He says that yeneva yata yatayo asya param. There have been people like you. You are not the first one. There have been people like you who have attempted to go beyond this sansara and they have gone also. There have been people and they have gone also with some particular methods. And that method I am giving you. So this has many things. Assurance guaranteed that it is a tried and tested way. What I shall tell you is a tried and they say chartered sea. That means they know where is the danger, where is the safe place. So it has been tried and tested, and people have crossed successfully. That very thing I will tell you. Tame tadeva margam, that very path, tava nirdishami, I shall point out to you. Walking you will have to do. This another implication is that you will have to do the walking. I will show you the way. On the path where many people have traveled already, they have crossed, that very path I shall show to you. Asti upayo mahan kaschit sansara bhayanashana tena tirtva bhavam bodhim paramanandam apsasi. Mahan, there is a great method to destroy the fear of transmigration. Kaschit, there is some method. Tena tirtva, by its help, you will cross over this ocean. Bhavam bodhim, Ambodhi means ocean, Bhava means sansar. And not only that, don't be afraid of this. You will cross and you will get Paramananda, the absolute bliss. you will reach the absolute bliss. Paramanandam avapsasi. Such method is there. Rather, we may say such methods are there. Now, here's the method. वेदांतार्थ विचारेण जायते ज्ञानम् उत्तमम् तेनात्यंतिक संसार दुःखनाशो भवति अनु. We have seen the meaning of vichara here in the beginning shlokas. Before this adhikar and all these things come, Vedanta artha vicharena. Vedanta means Upanishads, the culmination of knowledge, and the meaning of those words should be found out, not only chanting, and we should think about it. They will help us to analyze our mind. They will help us to cross over this samsara. They will give us the means to cross over this samsara, that is vichar here. And when we do Vedanta Artha Vichar, Uttamam Jnanam Jayate. In our own minds, the knowledge will be produced. The knowledge will take birth in our own mind. When we are able to analyze what the Vedanta is teaching us, and once when that has happened, Atyantika Sansara Dukkha Nasham, the misery of the sansara will be destroyed forever, never to come back. That is Atyantika. Certain guaranteed destruction of the sansara dukkha forever. Bhavati Anu. Anu means after that. Vedanta Vichar gives rise to knowledge, and after that, the sansara nash atyantika follows. Now, another important shloka, another reference to bhakti. How we can avoid this? And why people avoid this? Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Mumukshot Muktir Hetun Bhakti Sakshat Shrutergi Yova Eteshveva Tishtati Amusha Moksho Vidya Kalpita Deha Bandha. Shruti means Vedas, Vedanta. Now this word Sakshat can be attached to two places. We can attach to both places. Sakshat Shruti. The Shruti is directly telling Sakshat Mukte Hetu. So, direct means of liberation. Shruti is directly telling the direct means of liberation. And what are they? Shraddha, Bhakti, and Dhyana Yoga. Vedanta Vicharu give knowledge. But what the Shruti is telling us? Shraddha. Shraddha should not be equated with Bhakti. This is development. Shraddha, Bhakti, and Dhyana Yoga. Shraddha, Shankara has described, we understood. I do not see the truth. I do not see the supersensuous truth. The Shastras know it. My Guru knows it. He is giving me the method of reaching that, and I can try for that. Let me try. This much is Shraddha. So the spiritual life starts with Shraddha, not just faith in Tom, Dick, and Harry. The faith, this is not faith. Shraddha we can translate as dynamic faith. It is not only Vishwas, it is Shraddha. I do not see, he sees, he is telling me the method. If I follow those methods, I shall also see. So let me try. This much is Shraddha. And then Bhakti. Then comes that devotion. Then comes that attraction. Then comes that pull towards that reality. Shraddha leads to that pull towards that reality. And then I meditate. What is meditation? It is not meditate on this fan and meditate on this or the Hatha Yoga meditation. Meditate means God is pulling me. I want to be pulled by that. That is meditation. One example I shall give. Old type bulb, please visualize. When there is darkness in the room, I switch on and the light comes. I feel the light has come from the bulb. But now I look at the bulb and I find that only the filament has given the light. Now I am like catchment area. I am like that bulb which holds the light and which gives to the room. Light comes from that filament. Now when I understand this, that the light comes from God, and with the help of that light, what I do? I go outside and see the world. But when I know that it comes from God, can I turn back and look at that source? This is meditation. Meditation follows from the knowledge that it is God who is giving me light of consciousness. So let me turn my consciousness towards the source of the light and try to go to Him. That is called meditation. So Shraddha begins, Bhakti is the force, and that helps me to meditate. And that meditation, again, is used as a means to realize God, not just meditate and gain some power. So Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyana, Yoga. Who can do this? Mumukshu. One who is keenly desirous of mukti, he will be able to do this. Muktir hetun, that will become the cause of his mukti. The mumukshu will get mukti if he follows this method directly. That is what Vedas are telling us directly. He confirms it by saying, Yova eteshu eva tishtati. Eva is there. He need not do anything else. If he stands means if he is steadfast in these three. If he is steadfast in Shraddha, Bhakti and Dhyana, Amushya, Moksha, and Moksha is Avidya Kalpita Dehabandha. Bondage by body, etc., is due to our wrong knowledge. That is the bandhan. And if he follows this method, he will get free from this avidya rupi bandhan. Ajnana yogat paramatmanastava hi anatma bandha tata eva sanskriti tayor vivekodita bodhavanni ajnana karyam pratahet samulam. Your wrong knowledge about supreme reality, because of that wrong knowledge, that which is not you is binding you. What is binding? Mind is binding, ego is binding. They are not me, but they appear like me and they bind me. Tatra eva sanskriti. From that only your transmigration comes. No, viveka. When the discrimination between not me and me comes, then the consciousness rises like a fire, bodhavandi. The consciousness rises like a fire by the viveka, and then when it is fire, it destroys the effects of ignorance, samula, along with the root. Along with the root means ajnana. Not only the effects of wrong knowledge, but the wrong knowledge itself is burned by that fire, which comes by the functioning of viveka. This is what Guru told him. Now, more questions follow from the Shishya. Specific questions. First, he only asked how to cross. When the Guru told him in this way, then that gave rise to further questions in his mind. And he will express all the questions, and the Guru will show him the way. So, this is the standard method. You ask a question, Guru tells something, that gives rise to further questions, and you ask them, and the Guru will illumine you. That is the proper method. So we may stop here, though we have time, but many shlokas we have covered, and a fresh topic like is arising. The Shishya is asking very specific questions now, and the Guru is explaining them. We can read the questions also. I think enough. Enough. Let us go to the next step. By number of shlokas, if you see, today we have read quite a lot. 33 was the last, 47 is today, 14 shlokas. This will be our natural progress. So we are read up to 47. What do you say? Shall we continue? Let me continue. Shishya uvacha कृपया श्रूयतां स्वामिन् प्रश्नोऽयं क्रियते मया यदुत्तरमहं श्रुत्वा कृतार्थस्यां भवन्मुखात् कृपया out of grace Swami my master listen to this question which I am now doing by getting reply to which I will become kritartha. Kritartha means having obtained what one needs in life, having obtained everything that is obtainable, having obtained the means to crossover transmigration. I will get that Kritartha if you give replies to that question of mine which I am asking, Bhavan Mukha. The reply should come from you. Your experience should come as a reply. A living response is needed from the Guru. So if it comes from your mouth, को नाम बंधा कथम एव आगता कथम एष आगता कथम प्रतिष्ठास्य कथम विमोक्षा कोसौ अनात्मा परमा आत्मा तयोर विवेका कथम एतदुच्यताम. Here I stop. The various questions we shall see rising directly from what the Guru has told him up till now. From them directly some questions have arisen, and that let him ask, and we shall see the Guru's reply on the next turn. So instead of 47, we are stopping at 48. We'll take up 49 next time. Om Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.